Here we go, UFC 311, and we're going to open up with the main card. First fight, Arman Sarukian. That's the prediction. That's your winner. Okay, so our bankroll is sitting at these numbers now after winning a bet, Mackenzie Dern, last week, 50% of the total account on the spread. All right, so we started off with a $2,000 bankroll. If you want bets, you find that at proschmobets.com, and this is what the numbers are right here. All right, and we're sitting on a winner. All right, the first leg is Thiago Moises. The next one is Jamal Hill. Last week we bet that, a two-legger, Thiago Moises, Jamal Hill. And if we cover that, we win outright on the money line with Jamal Hill. This is what the bankroll will now be like for week 3 of UFC betting. All right, folks, so if you want the bets, anything related to bets, we place, okay, you find that at proschmobets.com. So we're going to open up Islam Makhachev, Arman Sarukian. Why Arman? When Islam Makhachev is clearly skill for skill, a much better striker, much better grappler than Arman Sarukian. Much better. All right, folks. So we can say a lot about Islam's top control. Okay, he floats over you, seeking to control you. His scrambles are incredible, man. This guy is very fluid, right? He flows into these submission attempts, into anything that is compromising to his opponents. All right. So, for example, in reviewing the Arman Sarukian fight, I could not believe that he had a failed trip to single leg to body lock takedown, and then stopping a Kimura grip on Arman Sarukian and passing with the knee down. And it was just an incredible grappling match. I could not even believe what I was watching. Even now, I'm a little bit short for words, and to just see those scrambles was just something out of this world, for a fight that happened so early in their careers. Now, I do want to follow that. Why I mentioned that Islam's skill set is incredibly polished and so much more improved than Arman Sarukian's. Of course, he's older, but relative to grappling is because of the mistakes. Relative to striking, it's because of the mistakes that you find with Arman. Now, I'm not losing you here. I need you to pay attention. All right, Arman is the bet, but follow me. Follow me. Arman is the bet. All right, so you find that, he's eager to control, right, in the octagon, Arman. And he makes careless mistakes. Same thing with his striking, right? So Arman striking from stance switches is, incredibly poor. It's very flawed. And, that's something that I'm pretty sure he's going to should have realized by now. And I think what takes place here is, pretty much his only shot at making sure that Islam could compete and actually Arman's going to bait Islam with all the tape now between Islam and Dustin Poirier available. You can make up for something like that. All right, it's ridiculous, right? When you're striking between stance switches, it's crazy, right? That's a sort of amateur, but he makes up for that with, again, the thing that I believe he's going to do with Islam, and that's bait him. All right, bait him with all the feints. And follow me here. This is now where we're going to find, how Arman should approach this fight to win this, and how I think that's the most probable route here. So if you watch back to Oliveira and Arman Sarukian, you can also realize that when Sarukian is behind Oliveira with the body lock, Oliveira is fighting Sarukian's feet, right? Eventually, Sarukian throws the right hook, and then he's square on his back. But Oliveira then shakes him off. So, between grappling in these two fighters, Islam and Arman, you sort of notice that the only thing that's going to help Arman with all these mistakes, with all these things that Islam could take advantage of is Islam's suffering cardio. 5 rounds of suffering cardio, folks. Okay, and I understand you're gonna make justifications for staph infections or bad weight cuts or things of that nature, right? A rotating clock, time zones for Islam Makhachev, folks. He does have deliberate suffering cardio. All right, so in a 5 rounder with a stocky built Arman Sarukian, I do not see how uh, Arman feinting to open up Islam's guard with the striking in later rounds won't help him. Okay, I always said that a sprawler and brawler like the Iceman, right, Chuck Liddell, would do well against these Dagestani fighters in the bantamweight division. But that style is something I think Arman's going to have to adopt if he wants to, you know, make work of Islam to drain the cardio. So in a 5 rounder, and I hope I'm making sense to you. If not, you can send me a DM and we can talk about this more. Arman Sarukian all the way. All right, Arman Sarukian all the way. And we're going to move on now. We're going to go and now get into Merab Dvalishvili versus Umar Nurmagomedov. Man, this is a great fight here too. I believe this fight here is going to end in a draw. I understand that Merab Dvalishvili, it has his first title defense here. There is a trend, I think, in the last 5 years in the male, all right, in the gender, male gender, between divisions. I think the only man to not have a title defense is Sean Strickland. I don't see that for Merab Dvalishvili here, especially against Umar. I could see a no contest. I could see a DQ, maybe. I could see a draw. Anything to find a way to keep Merab the champion, okay? To then set up Sean O'Malley, get his lick back like he did against Marlon Chito Vera and call it a day. I love Umar striking, don't get me wrong. What you saw, what you couldn't see because of how fast his striking was against Corey Sandhagen was incredible. But you're talking now, in contrast to discussing Arman Sarukian and Islam, we're talking about now Merab Dvalishvili, who has all this cardio, this incredible exponent to a cardio stat. So, to fight the axiom of that is going to be very challenging for Umar. In addition to, I'm not a conspiracy guy. I'm not skeptical. Business is as business does. And, we're going to have to maybe be up against the judges here. Maybe UFC's plans, maybe the referee. Who knows what's going to happen if the fight is bought out, the scorecards are bought out. But I have a hunch, and I'm going to stick to it. I really don't think Umar will be champion for political reasons. I think this fight is too politically charged, and I don't like that Merab will not have a title defense when he's incredibly capable. He's more capable than anybody. All right, so now we're going to move on to Jiri Prochazka, Jamal Hill. All right, Jamal Hill, man, if he does not finish Jiri, my God, we're going to have problems finding, a potential showdown against him and Pereira on a rematch, okay, where I believe that Hill will come out victorious. Alex Pereira will move up in weight because of his age, and then Jamal Hill's going to finish Ankalaev. That's just the way. And it's talking about a sprawl and brawl guy, a slugger, boxer like Jamal Hill. Man, that guy could get the style going here, where he could take out a Dagestani guy like Ankalaev. Okay, so, hey, Hill was calling out the rematch with Pereira, fearing that he would face Roundtree. And now you have Roundtree in talks with maybe Jiri if he loses here, or Carlos Ulberg if they want to catapult Carlos Ulberg in the light heavyweight division. All right, so, hey, that's the pick here, Jamal Hill. And, I'm going to give it to you guys like we have it on the two-leg parlay. Thiago Moises cashed already. We're just waiting on Jamal Hill. This is the lock of the year, folks. Lock of the year. There's absolutely no chance with so many shots that Jiri Prochazka absorbs that he'll be able to take on Jamal Hill. Absolutely not. Benil Dariush, he's a much better grappler than Renato Moicano, but we'll take Renato Moicano here on the money line. I'd prefer to take Benil Dariush, but even if I chose to take his odds at money line or at spread, provided the chance to a decision or a submission against Renato Moicano, he can fist fight, guys. This guy can strike. Only thing I have in with apprehension to deciding to choose Renato Moicano here, pick him as the victor, is the fact that the man just had like a shoulder surgery, and yeah, I'm not sure how that turnaround time has worked out for him, but that shoulder injury was pretty severe. You can see a bone nearly puncturing out his shoulder when he faced off with Benoit Saint Denis in France. All right, folks. So I got Renato Moicano, but caution ahead. All right, Kevin Holland. Listen, I don't like his frame at middleweight. He has not proven to be a good fighter at middleweight. By good, I mean that his skill set is very challenged when it comes to grappling or striking against opponents in that division. Even slow boxers like Marvin Vettori, all right? Rene de Ritter, he's huge. This guy is tall as the trees, man. He's a good grappler, but he's not Roman Dolidze. He does not have those hands. So Kevin Holland on the feet all day, and Kevin Holland can roll. He can scramble. He is a black belt, and people have spread rumors about whether that, black belt is credentialed sufficient to, equal like that of his peers. Okay, but Renier de Ritter, man, folks, I mean, he's got no hands, absolutely no hands. He's too exploitable. And if he does roll with Kevin, we've seen him do it with Hamza Chimaev. So I'm taking Kevin Holland on the money line. Okay, and now we're going to move on. We're going to the prelims, all right? Prelims, Peyton Talbot, Raoni Barcelos. Folks, he's 37 years old. There's a theme here. There's a theme, all right, with these older fighters. It's over. The contracts, it's done, all right? They're getting cut. Clay Guida didn't want to retire in the octagon. He just got cut today. All right, folks, Peyton Talbot, if you guys like Sean O'Malley for how fast he is, Peyton Talbot is fast and strong, brother. Fast and strong. He's everything Sean O'Malley does not have on the feet. But when it comes to the scrambles, I can almost guarantee you Sean O'Malley would submit Peyton Talbot. Jelton Almeida, Sergey Spivak. Jelton has this sort of style Curtis Blades does possess. Sergey Spivak could finish Jelton on the feet. Can scramble out of the things that Jelton is going to attempt. I like Sergey Spivak for the win here on the money line, on the spread. That is your pick. I think this is the bust of the card. Almeida, I mean, he just showed up out of nowhere pretty much, okay? He showed up out of nowhere. He's blessed, man. He's a UFC fighter, but you need hands, okay? And Spivak's got all this combat, hand-to-hand combat experience. He's got the wrestling. I mean, it's Sergey here or no one, okay? Period, especially with those odds. We're moving on. Bogdan Guskak, Billy Elikana. Guys, Bogdan Guskov, if you have not seen, the man's knockouts and submissions, is an incredible fighter, man. This is the Anthony Smith on an exponent. Skill set. I mean, if we ever see these two fight, you see Bogdan finish the man. So, this is an easy pick here. I have no reservations there. Grant Dawson, Diego Ferreira, everyone's fading Grant Dawson, saying he's chinny, but no one has the absolute top control, relentless pressure in wrestling that Grant Dawson has right now in the lightweight division. It's almost suffering, how it is to be under him. All right, so under that grip with a 39-year-old Diego Ferreira, much shorter reach. All he has is the power. Grant enough footwork to provide his spacing and then dive on him. I think we're gonna see success here with Grant Dawson. Absolutely no reservations. Zachary Reese, we all know this guy's incredibly talented on the feet. I expect nothing short of a finish here. All right, so Azamat Bekov, who volunteered to get finished, we'll see it here soon. Carol Rosa, a lot of folks have her on the money line. I think this is a very politically charged event. She's the number 9 bantamweight, though, and Eileen is the number 13. Does Eileen lose anything losing this fight? She loses a lot. Does Carl Rosa lose a lot if she lost this fight? Not so much. All right, she'll remain the number 9, and she still has the potential to climb. She's only 30 years of age. It's Eileen Perez here or no one. And I know you guys are going to say, but Carol Rosa does possess the grappling. I'm going to reply with you to, and argue with you that Eileen Perez does have the wrestling. Okay, so she does have the scrambles as well. And as you know, she can chain wrestle and she can strike, and find a takedown where Carol Rosa could potentially submit Perez, but with all the grappling, all this rolling around, that Eileen's been doing at the Goat Shed Gym, I potentially sparring with Jillian Robertson, and I guess with her experience now wrestling these girls, like Jocelyn Edwards, I think Eileen Perez has the edge, especially on the number plus 170. I'm not fond of Eileen Perez, but I think to get to the number 9 position, maybe even the number 5 as a bantamweight, maybe to fight with Macy Chason, I think the UFC has good plans. All right, and after Eileen Perez, Carol Rosa, she'll get set up. So I'll take Eileen Perez on the spread because I highly doubt Carol Rosa would submit Eileen Perez. Could Eileen Perez lose a close decision? I guess so, especially if the public starts writing her. But again, I have my doubts. Everybody's on Carol Rosa. Everyone's fading her. Rinya Nakamura, just go through his Instagram grid. This guy's a monster. Muin Gafurov, good fighter. I don't know, man. He debuted with Mohamed Noimov, and I've always rated Muin less in the skill set than his peers. But again, we're going up against a wrestler here, a monster, a beast. We will like to see it would be great to see the striking showcased here for Rinya. It'd be important, especially for him at these odds. Especially if he wants to make a name for himself. Japan is a huge market right now the UFC's into. We know Tatsuro Taira is sparring with Marlon Chito Vera. He's in the Ruka gym with Jason Perillo, and that man will be champion. Okay, when everyone thought it was Kaya Sakura. Ricky Tercios, Bernardo Sopage. He's a mess on the feet. He's a mess when he paces himself, but he's incredibly too powerful for Ricky Tercios. Tercios pulled out due to illness initially, and I'm pretty sure for many good reasons, folks. This is not a difficult fight to predict. Striker versus grappler. And then we have Tagir Ulanbekov, Clayton Carpenter. I love Clayton, man. Good guy, but he's 28, so he's going to take the loss here. It's Tagir's time. He'll continue to climb up the ranks. His frame is incredibly narrow for a guy like Clayton, where it makes Tagir incredibly tall, sizable, and just a good match made in heaven for him. Very fortunate, especially with someone that wrestles you constantly like Clayton. By no means is Clayton a wrestler like Francis Marshall or the likes. This man, Clayton Carpenter, is just a good grappler all around, and we expect a few good years out of this young man. I'm not fond of his proportions either, and I think that matters, especially in the flyweight division. All right, folks, so there you have it. All right, so you heard it here first. If you want the bets, if you want the write-ups, the summaries in more detail, you have to visit proschmobets.com.